people start joining in so that I should start speaking.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. This is Harriet once again. You are most welcome to today's webinars. The first webinar, we're going to have Avais Sherani, class 17, who will be taking us through his presentation. So let's give it up to Avais. Avais, go right ahead.
Hi, Harriet. Thank you very much, and hello, everyone. Good afternoon in most parts of the country that you are in. My name is Avais Sherani. I'm an Atlas Core fellow from Pakistan, class 17, serving at the Center for Environmental Health, New York office. And the topic of my presentation, as you might see, is quite a sort of a very colorful and I would say like sort of a, it's more kind of a childish sort of picture that I put it up, but I just tried to wanted to keep this light. We're going to be talking about non-profit management and a couple of topics in non-profit management. Just to make sure, Harriet, uh, is my presentation totally visible to everyone?
It is to me, so it is to everyone. Just go ahead.
And can you just check in on the side of the where people are commenting, because I'm not looking at those comments right now.
Yeah.
All right, good. So I'm good to go.
Okay. Yes, you are.
All right, great. So I just put this down in my presentation that nonprofit management. Oh my God, what's wrong? Okay. Hello.
Avais, could you close the other windows of your screen so that we only have the presentation? Avais? Avais, are you there?
Yeah, sort of got.
Make sure all the other windows of your screen are closed so that you only have your presentation.
Yeah, just. I don't know why it happened, but sort of got me signed out. Is my presentation visible right now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So non-profit management, as it is it a science or an art? And I guess like as we go through this, it's the both a science and an art. So before we start non-profit management, just to give you a little bit of background, I chose this topic because I felt like as a non-profit professionals, we all are non-profit professionals from different parts of the world, and uh, ev- every once in our life we do have certain focuses, but at one point in time, certainly sooner or later, we all aspire to undertake leadership positions in nonprofits, or we plan to set up our own nonprofits. So it's better just to have an overview of what nonprofit management is, and then it's such a vast topic, and we do not have really a lot of time. I mean, this webinar is a very short sort of time where we can talk about certain different things, small components about nonprofit management that I'll talk about. But we can sort of, I'll try to provide an overview of the different topics that we might encounter when we are, put to the task to manage a nonprofit. And another thing is that during our upcoming GLL, that's going to be in January, the topic, which I assume is going to be focusing more on nonprofit management, and we will be covering a lot of topics identified in this presentation in detail during the GLL. So starting, moving forward with nonprofit management, what I did was I looked up the definition of nonprofit on the on our best friend Google, and because it's something very contentious that what nonprofit is basically, and so it's an interesting definition, whether it actually picks it up from Oxford Dictionary, which I searched out, that it says not making or conducted primarily to make a profit. So confusing it is, but the main gist is that the primary motive is not to look for profit. And here again, it's not the primary motive. It might be the secondary motive, or it might be some of a hidden motive, but on the face of it, it's not going to be focusing on towards making a profit. And then management, as we all know, so the process of dealing with or controlling things or people. So this was sort of a layman thing what I did. So when we talk about nonprofits, we basically focus on the nonprofits will be making profits, right? But what they want to do is they want the profits that they make out, they want to maximize the benefits for the cause being served or followed, or the reason for which they exist. So instead of shareholder maximization, the nonprofits will focus on maximizing the benefits to the society or to a specific group or whatever cause they are supporting. So whenever we talk about nonprofit management, while setting the stage, one thing a nonprofit really has to be clear about are the three different things that we really all are quite well aware of. And I'll just quickly go through them. So the first thing is vision. And what is vision is the idealized picture of the future state of affairs. So any nonprofit, when an organization is set up, it really needs to have a vision as to what it wants to see in the future. What is the ideal thing that it's going to be following? And the next thing is the mission and what actually the organization will be doing to achieve that idealized picture that it envisioned. And the third important thing is the values, and these are basically the principles and ethics that guide the behavior of organization. So these are the three main terms that we need to know, that every nonprofit needs to know, because they are very essential when the nonprofit starts working, starts functioning. These things will all play a very important part in the efficient or non-efficient functioning of that organization. So I'll now, as I said, I'll highlight a few areas of nonprofit management. And so what I did was basically I categorized the nonprofit management different areas. And this is not an exhaustive list. Certainly, I'm not a subject expert on this, but I would say that these are out of my experience of working with nonprofit organizations and helping the different organizations with on their organizational development. These were the areas that I have encountered, and these are the areas that we also find in different NPO management courses or the nonprofit 101 courses you might find. So the first thing is the executive. So that's the top-notch leadership, and so the leadership is one of the essential requirements of it. Managing the boards are very important to nonprofit organizations, and we'll discuss them in detail. And then strategic planning, it's really essential part of nonprofit management, and we can also translate it to strategic management. However, I'm just looking at it from a view angle point that someone who wants to start an organization might be doing a lot of strategic planning as well. And it's a continuous process, and every organization has to go through it after a given certain period of time. And then the next thing is resource mobilization, which we often know as fundraising and stuff like that, because the nonprofits, they won't be maximizing their profits, so they would be continuously looking for resources and fundings. And then when we come to the operational side of nonprofit management, so then we can see that financial management, obviously one of the core components, procurement management. This I would like to highlight because I have a good idea that my audience, which is a lot of fellows who are from different parts of the world, and especially from a major chunk of them is from developing countries. And this often when we are dealing with international donors, and so procurement is a key issue in nonprofit management, certainly in the developing parts of the world. Human resources management, that's again a very important topic, and it's essential, integral part of all sorts of organizations. Compliance, again, when we're working with the donors, whether we are in the United States or we're working from a developing country, compliance is a lot of stress is being put on compliance, as the donors want to make sure that the money that is being provided to the organization is being spent accordingly, and all the rules are being followed. And then we have the functional areas, so that keep on, when the organization keep on functioning, these are the areas that we that you would be encountering. So the first one is proposal writing. It's an integral part. The nonprofits have to really work hard on these proposals because they are one of the main sources which bring in revenue to the organization. We have program and project management, a continuous process. As I just said, strategic planning would be a part of it, and then project management and program management is also certainly a similar sort of thing, which would not only be taken at the beginning of the project, but it will continue to go going on throughout the project. Monitoring and evaluation, a very similar topic to project management, and public outreach as how much the organization is trying to outreach. Now, in all these core areas, I'm pretty sure that during the wonderful plan that Atlas Core has set up for us during the 3 GLLs that each fellow attends during his or her service of 1 year, a lot of these topics would be covered during the GLLs and covered in depth and in detail. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be focusing on a couple of topics that might not be covered during our GLLs. And these are the topics of board management and proposal writing. I just need to do a quick check on the time with that. So boards are really, really important for nonprofit organizations, given that one, the organizations are not going to be working with a lot of resources. The organization would be working with a lot of volunteers, and hence they need to have a body that really has to help the nonprofit really function effectively, increase its outreach, and maximize maximize the benefits to the society or the group that is serving for. So when we talk of the governing board, I'll just put in a definition of the governing board, and it is like the people elected or appointed to establish policy, exercise fiscal responsibility, and oversee management of an organization. So this definition is provided by Association of Fundraising Professionals. So we are all aware that, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It again says elected or appointed, so different organizations can choose different types of mechanism to establish their board. But once the board is set up, and their main task is to establish policy, the policies that the organization is going to be following, exercise fiscal responsibility. So this is that one body that is going to take care of all the, oversee the fiscal affairs of that organization, just to make sure that it's going on track, and oversee the management of an organization. So management of the organization might not just mean like micromanagement, where the board is typically involved in that, but this is in a broader sense, where the board and the board members or the different committees of the boards do keep a check on how the affairs are taking place in an organization. All right, so what are the board duties and responsibilities? This is so we do seem to know that, yes, the organization has a governing board, but what are the duties and responsibilities of the board? Again, I'll stress it with looking at it from this angle, that we are going to be leading an organization, or and many of you might want to be setting up their own organization, so setting up a board. These are the things that we can sort of look for. So that, or I would just like to add that many of you might be very soon becoming board members. So you might be interested to know what the board duties are. So the first duty of a board member is the duty of care. So it's a duty of a board member to ensure that the organization is operating in compliance to all applicable laws, that are in the country, and is following the rules, and the operations are to a great extent ethical. If I should not say to a great extent ethical, are ethical. And then we talk about the duty of the loyalty. So the loyalty duty is basically that the organization, so the board members are loyal to the organization, and we can also look into it in a way that that the board members do not have any sort of conflict of interest that they are trying to manipulate while being on the board of an organization. And there's a duty of obedience is a duty to why it's a duty to abide by the mission of the organization, and promote the mission as much as possible. And when we talk about the responsibilities, what are the responsibilities? With the first and foremost important, the strategic direction, because the board members do have the responsibility to oversee if your organization, if the organization is moving in the right direction, and it is just to make sure that it is all set on course to follow the strategic objectives that were set forth. Fundraising. This might come as a surprise. Initially, it came to a surprise. It came as a surprise to me that the board members are, responsible for fundraising, and this is through different trainings that I have been attending, and I have figured out that especially it's a very common trend in the United States that the board members are responsible to provide fundraising support to their respective organizations, and it's even like noted down in a few of the IRS in one of the IRS rules. Although I've not been able to directly find it, but it did imply that the board members are sort of have it's their responsibility to raise funds for that organization, and again it's their responsibility to oversight, which again sort of we have discussed already. They have to oversee the affairs of the organization. And promotion, again, duty of obedience, it just came in, so it's sort of a promotion where they should promote the mission, and they should promote the work of the organization in their inner and outer circles. So I'll quickly jump onto the board and fundraising. What we mean by the fundraising. I'm pretty slow on time. So the board and fundraising should go like they have to give money. That comes as a surprise to a lot of us, but it's a part of that they have to provide us, that they should be chipping in with money. They should be donating it. And interestingly, in the US, a lot of foundations do look in to the organizational affairs once they are providing funding, that are the board members donating to the organizations or not. So at times it does end up being a donor requirement. Then again, they have to, like when it comes to fundraising, they have to get money for the organization. The money can be achieved on one-on-one basis, a group settings, where they can sort of be promoting the organization. They can also sort of at that point in time request for funds. But this also causes a lot of obstacles, and the obstacles, as the board members often consider, that it's not their job to raise funds for the organizations, or they at times end up saying that they are just too shy to ask. There might be individuals who think like, okay, we were just here for a board, but we're not here to just sort of ask for fundraising. And at times, you might be having some sort of board members who are very competent in their field, but they do not have proper connections where they can look for fundraising. So whenever there are obstacles, there must be solutions to them as well. So the solution is, the first is, once you're about to elect and appoint a board member, clarify it at the selection stage that it's going to be their duty to raise funds for that organization. Once they're on board, try to instill a team approach, and just to make sure that they actually connect with the organization so well that you form a team, and they are going to be a part of the team that is going to be raising funds for the organization that they are a part of. And the other part is very interesting, that involve them indirectly. So indirect involvement is like, I would just like to mention very quickly that they can write thank you notes to or letter to the supporters, or they can sort of contribute towards a prospective donor list. They can cultivate and nurture sort of relations with donors, and they can even solicit non-monetary donations. So that can be a part of how they can contribute. So strengthening the board, I would also say establishing the board. So when recruiting new board members, the first of all, an organization should establish a criteria. The criteria should be to make sure that who should be the board members, and what is their sort of commitment to the mission of the organization. What is are they willing to commit the time and resources to the organizations, and are they going to be uh, able to listen to others and contribute towards the team processes. And so when you're recruiting board members, they can be referred individuals, they can be referred by the members in the organizations, or they can even be the donors. Existing or past donors can be chosen as a board members, or past volunteers can be part of the board member, given their credentials and their fit. And when we talk about the board processes, I'll just really say that sign a contract. The one of the main important things that are being like sort of used here widely in the US is that a board member usually signs a contract. This practice, I was not like I did not experience seeing this practice back in Pakistan, uh, and but this is something really interesting, that a board member, whenever they come on board on a board, they do sign a contract. And then the organization tend to provide an orientation to the board members, and they are also they carry out an evaluation of the board member as well. So all these processes are just focused to make sure that the board is functioning properly, and it's helping the organization move well in the strategic direction. You can all look more about the boards at the board source website. It's a very interesting website where you can see a lot of resources are going to be available in case you want to be a board member, or you're looking for different sort of templates for board contracts, and there are different blogs which you can look up where different nonprofit organizations share their experiences regarding the board. Harriet, can I have you interrupt me?
Thank you, Avais. We have one question so far. Someone is asking if you could give some examples of procurement management.
Yes, I can sort of provide them with a whole course on procurement management, but I guess we were talking about this topic right now. I can share some sort of resources after this webinar. And Harriet, I'll just like to say there's only one question, and I have like 4 minutes to go, right?
Yes.
Which I think I would not be able to go through the second part of my presentation, that was proposal writing. So we can sort of end it here right now.
Maybe if you have the second part, you could just briefly tell.
I'll just very quickly go through this proposal writing stuff. So with the proposal writing, we all know it's like totally important for the nonprofit organizations. Just to you have to prepare a very sound proposal to get some funding. I'll just go through this one slide where it is like the process of proposal writing. It's like 4 main steps. First is planning, where you have to plan what you need the money for while you're writing the proposal. Research. The second point is going to be research. You have to research thoroughly of what actually the donor that you are going to be looking up, as to what are the priorities of the donors, and how do your organization's work matches with that, and what you're proposing, how does it match their funding requirements. And third part is writing, and then I'll just very quickly go through that writing slide. And the fourth part is follow-up. Follow-up is a very essential part. Once you submit a proposal, you should follow up that proposal with, if there is no answer, you should follow up, and you should maintain a decent follow-up, not just to sort of put them off, but you should just keep on keep on asking why they were not sort of match. So in just for the sequence, I'll very quickly go through the sequence. When you're writing the proposal, the first part should be a problem statement of, you see what the problem is and which you want to address. The second is project description. You should describe the project that you are proposing. The third one is organizational information. You provide your organizational information as to what your organization is. Fourth part is the budget. And the last part is conclusion. Once this whole sequence is followed, and this sequence, I would again make myself very clear that some of the donors, if their donors do not have any template, which is becoming rare these days, but if they do not have any template and you're opening for your, sending a proposal for any unsolicited sort of project, then the best part is to follow this sequence. And once all this sequence is completed, then at the last, you write the executive summary, which eventually goes up on the top of the proposal. But the executive summary is written at the last. And this is the best sequence to develop a proposal. And then, sorry, due to no time, I would like to quickly go through these resources that you have. Google is one wonderful resource. But apart from Google, I'd just like to quickly mention Foundation Center is one of the organizations that those of you who are really interested in nonprofit management should be following while you are here in the United States. And the other one is like Network for Good. These two that I have been using as I've been providing some support to the nonprofits. So Foundation Center will help you find potential funders. It has a nonprofit training program on nonprofit management where there are a lot of free courses that you can attend. There are a lot of webinars that you can attend, but also you can go to their physical premises and attend their trainings. You can use the online library, and they have wonderful online resources that you can only access while being at their library. They are available. They have their offices in Washington, D.C., New York, San Francisco, Atlanta, Cleveland. I guess we don't have much. Please do follow this link, and you'll be following a lot of information on that. And then same is with the Network for Good. It's more kind of it's a tech firm that provides these fundraising software and strategies. But on their website, if you register, you can you can have access to a lot of really valuable free content that includes webinars, guides, and templates, blog posts, and courses as well. And these are really good resources. We do have the website is over here.
Avais,
so yeah.
As you wrap up, someone is asking from personal experience, what is the difference in board management between the US and Pakistan?
As a personal experience, a lot of issues that I have contended with different nonprofit organizations in back home in Pakistan is that they are not focused on their boards properly. So either the organizations end up selecting board members who are really big guns, and they just want the big names to be over there because either they have like good connections and they can help bring in some project. But otherwise, they do not really. The boards are not really functional, and they do not have like frequent sort of board elections and stuff like that. So the board does not play a very important role in the nonprofits, in the managing the nonprofits back home, which eventually ends up that the organizations kind of struggle to maintain their presence in the mainstream. While here in the US, the boards are really an integral part, and it's really the individuals who are chosen as board members are selected very carefully, and then the board members do carry out all the functions that I mentioned over here. I did I do have some practical experience working with the board of the organization that I am working with, and I am serving at. And that's how the boards really are an integral part of the organization, and they do keep a check on all sort of things that I have sort of lined up and mentioned in the presentation.
Okay, thank you so much, Avais. I think we are coming to the end, unless if you have one last remark to give to the participants.
One last remark to the participants is go on and manage your nonprofits really well. I would have liked to go through the proposal writing. That was really interesting part of it, but I'm short on time, and I'd really welcome if they have any questions. They can sort of send those questions to me, and I would be really happy to answer them. And specifically someone who had the questions regarding procurement management, they can also just send that to me, and I can send them detailed information on project management. Sorry, procurement management.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Avais.
Right,
thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and that's the end of our webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Harriet. Bye.